Israel versus Iran. The silent war for power in the Middle East, from the shadowy halls of intelligence to the fiery battlegrounds of proxy wars, the conflict between Israel and Iran is not a traditional war. It's a game of chess played across continents, fought with missiles, cyber attacks, and assassinations. This is not just a political rivalry. It's a clash of ideologies, security, and regional dominance. Welcome to the story behind one of the most dangerous and complex rivalries in the modern world: Israel versus Iran. The roots of the rivalry. To understand how we got here, we need to rewind the clock. In the 1950s and 60s, Israel and Iran weren't enemies. In fact, they were strategic allies. Both were pro-Western, anti-Arab nationalist, and economically ambitious. Israel even sold weapons to Iran during the Iran-Iraq War in the 1980s. But everything changed in 1979. When the Iranian Revolution overthrew the Shah and brought in the Islamic Republic under Ayatollah Khomeini, Iran shifted dramatically. It became an anti-Western, anti-Israel theocracy that saw the Jewish state as illegitimate. Israel, in turn, saw Iran as an existential threat. Since then, hostility has only escalated. Nuclear tensions and red lines. At the center of this rivalry lies Iran's nuclear program. Iran insists its program is peaceful. Israel believes otherwise. Israel has long declared that a nuclear-armed Iran is unacceptable. They've launched covert operations to delay Iran's progress, including cyber attacks like the infamous Stuxnet virus and alleged assassinations of Iranian nuclear scientists. Meanwhile, Iran accuses Israel of possessing its own undeclared nuclear arsenal and using double standards. The nuclear tension is not just about weapons. It's about deterrence, influence, and survival. Proxy wars and regional influence instead of fighting directly. Israel and Iran have turned the Middle East into a battlefield through proxies. In Syria, Iran supports President Bashar al-Assad and uses the territory to smuggle weapons to Hezbollah in Lebanon. Israel responds with hundreds of airstrikes on Iranian targets in Syria. In Lebanon, Hezbollah acts as Iran's most powerful proxy, armed with tens of thousands of rockets aimed at Israel. In Gaza, groups like Islamic Jihad are believed to receive funding and support from Iran. This proxy war has turned entire countries into zones of influence. Espionage and cyber warfare, beyond the visible conflict, is a hidden war waged by spies and hackers. Mossad, Israel's intelligence agency, is believed to be behind a string of operations inside Iran, including sabotage of nuclear facilities and the extraction of nuclear archives. Iran's intelligence services, in turn, have launched cyber attacks on Israeli infrastructure, including water systems, transportation, and tech firms. This invisible war is growing more sophisticated, more dangerous, and more difficult to trace. Diplomatic frontlines and global stakes. The conflict between Israel and Iran also plays out in diplomacy. Israel has normalized relations with several Arab states under the Abraham Accords, partially motivated by shared concerns about Iran. Iran seeks to build alliances with Russia, China, and non-Western countries to counterbalance Israeli and Western influence. Meanwhile, the U.S. plays a key role, often trying to balance support for Israel with diplomatic efforts to restrain Iran's nuclear ambitions. The stakes are global. Energy markets, international security, and nuclear non-proliferation all hang in the balance. The risk of open war. Though most of the fighting has been through proxies and covert operations, the risk of a full-scale war is real. Skirmishes at the border, drone attacks, and missile strikes have escalated before. A miscalculation could trigger a chain reaction. Israel has held major military drills simulating strikes on Iran. Iran has warned of devastating retaliation if attacked. The region sits on a powder keg. Public opinion and psychological warfare. This is also a war of perception. Both countries use media, propaganda, and psychological tactics to sway public opinion at home and abroad. In Iran, the regime promotes Israel as the enemy of Islam. In Israel, Iran is portrayed as a fanatical regime bent on genocide. This constant fear shapes policy, hardens attitudes, and reduces the space for compromise. Conflict without end. The Israel-Iran rivalry is more than a dispute. It is a geopolitical chess match shaped by religion, history, security, and ambition. Whether it escalates into open war or remains a shadow conflict, one thing is clear. This silent war is not going away. Understanding it is essential to understanding the future of the Middle East, because sometimes the most dangerous wars are the ones we don't see.